Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Absolute Aviation podcast. Today I'm with Solara. This will be our co-host. We're going to try to bring on as many special guests as we can. I do have a actual airline pilot set up for us and a few other aviation creators. My name's Owen. I live in New York, and my YouTube channel is Adventures with Owen. I'll be our first co-host, and let Solara talk about herself.
My name's Solara. I also live in New York, and I kind of just exist. I had no clue you even had like a actual pilot to speak, so that's cool.
Yeah, we're gonna get her. She's a United pilot. I can't wait for that episode. We'll see when that comes.
Yeah, that's actually tough.
So we're gonna try to do weekly podcast episodes. Try to keep them around 20 minutes. We'll see how this goes. We're going to talk, of course, only aviation, absolute aviation, unless something relates to aviation. So today, our first episode, we're going to be talking about Riyadh Air and their expansion. So they just got U.S. approval for flights into the U.S., and they had their first flight recently. Yeah.
I thought it was Ryan Air, like the thing that crashes.
Okay, guys.
I know it was pronounced like that.
Yeah, it's Riyadh Air. Yeah, we don't like Ryanair. Ryanair, they're low cost stuff going on.
Ryanair is tough though.
Their hard landings. Yeah, Ryanair's got their hard landings over there.
Yeah.
All right, so the DOT just allowed them to operate flights between Saudi Arabia and the United States, and I mean, this is going to give them both authorization for passenger services and cargo services. So maybe they'll do something like Etihad and Emirates doing their cargo maybe into the United States, you know?
Yeah. So like they have 4K TVs. That's kind of crazy for first class. Like the pricing might be insane because originally I was thinking they were gonna try to like take over kind of Spirit prices, but I guess not. They're going for more like a Delta route.
Yeah, I think they couldn't get in for because they're in a difficult market, you know, with Emirates, Etihad, all these luxury airlines. Their only competitor, if they did do something like Spirit, would be Fly Dubai, and I mean they don't have a huge hold yet. So, I mean, they could have had a chance there, but no, they are going full luxury. And, I mean, it looks really nice. I'm actually looking at a photo right now of their business class. And, I mean, I love the mood lighting. It looks really nice. So, I'm going to step inside this. So, they also brought in premium economy, which would make sense as premium economy is the most profitable seat in aviation, not economy or business or first. So, yeah.
Legroom.
Yeah, there's extra legroom. They've got the, I don't know what to call it. They're like leg rest. Yeah, the leg rest that moves out. One thing I'm seeing here is Riyadh Air does, wait, do they? Yeah, I don't think Riyadh Air has closing doors, which is actually a very surprising thing as everybody is going in for the closing doors. Oh, wait, they do have closed. Never mind. But they're doing something like Qatar Airways with the double bed. So, Solar, what do you think about like the double bed, having two beds in business class come together so couples can sleep together?
So, I don't know what's gonna happen on those flights because that seems kind of insane. Don't question it if you hear some random clapping. You know.
Hopefully they'll limit that. Qatar Airways has done pretty good.
Yeah, double beds. It shouldn't be too bad. It just depends on the pricing. Obviously.
It does depend on the pricing. I'm gonna look actually right now. So, their most recent route is JFK or it's Riyadh to London, which is a very reasonable flight. London Heathrow is a huge hub for most people. Solar, have you been to London?
Yeah. I've seen Big Ben. It's very good.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, you guys have to see Big Ben.
It's like the
Big Ben is
only
peak.
very peak.
Absolute Big Ben. Guys, if you do
Absolutely.
know the if you do know the meme, that is what our podcast is named after. You've got Absolute Cinema, and now we have Absolute Aviation,
Aviation.
Absolute Big Ben. So I'm gonna look here.
Wait. Like the alcohol intake is going to be gone off the
Yeah,
airline because Saudi Arabia forbids alcohol.
yeah. That is something. I'm glad you brought that up. That's something I want to talk about. So a lot of people are saying they don't want to fly Riyadh Air because of that. They're paying so much money for this business class flight, and then they can't drink alcohol if they want. You know.
Just like get some apple juice or something.
Yeah, what Solara said, get apple juice. Get apple juice. So I'm going to look at peak season here in the summer. So July 15th, a one-way flight, Riyadh to London. Let's look at this. Okay, so wait, it comes up in their currency. But what I do see here is they have a light economy, smart economy, and flex economy, which a lot of people are doing. So light doesn't have seat selection. Smart also doesn't have seat selection, but flex does, and that's about 1,000 more SAR. So I'm gonna do a conversion here.
$1.
$1. Actually, so their prices are actually very good. So their light economy is about $1,000, which isn't crazy considering this is a flight from Riyadh to London, which is a actually pretty big market, and Riyadh is not very far away from Dubai at all. So if you're looking at those prices from Dubai, which can be very expensive during these peak seasons, during the summer, it wouldn't be a bad option to fly over to Riyadh and get that flight. Now, I am looking at their business class. Something is very weird here, and that's they have 3 different sections for their business class. Do you think that's right, Solar? Like having different tiers for even their most high priority, most expensive?
I actually don't get that because if you're like flying with people of your job, why would you all sit in like different sections of business class? There
Yeah,
should only be one section of business class. But I get if they're trying to make more money for it, then you can just keep stepping it up and up.
and their prices are crazy. So for their light tier of business class, you get 45 kilograms for a checked bag. You get seat selection. That's very good. But you have to pay for flight change, and it's not refundable. And your carry-on bag has to be 15 kilograms. So
Spirit.
the price is $6,783. That's a lot. And see,
Wait for one seat?
yeah, for one seat. And again, they're competing with Emirates, who actually has flights cheaper than that. So, I mean, I find it kind of crazy, or I don't know what they're trying to do there having it that price.
I'm looking at like inside the aircraft and it looks really nice, but I get how expensive it would be because it just looks very luxurious compared to other planes like United.
But I would search up Emirates business class. It's very nice. I would. And the other thing is Riyadh Air is a up-and-coming airline, and, I mean, they're having a hard time to start. So with the Iran war, I mean, as of now, the Iran war is now over, but... All right, so I'm looking now at their economy. It almost looks like premium economy. I mean, they've got great recline on it, and it actually looks very nice, but I will say it looks very similar to Qatar Airways. If you look at Qatar, I feel like Riyadh Air is very much modeled after Qatar. So this plane's on a 787, which isn't one of Qatar's main aircraft. But their business class looks a lot like Next Gen Q Suite, which is currently the best business class in the world, and their economy looks a lot like that, even with the color scheme and their colors, having purple.
Yeah.
But what do you think about their economy, Solar?
I feel like the economy is trying to give the effect that you're sitting somewhere better, but without minus like the leg room and like the comfortability. You're kind of just like sitting on a bus seat if you really think about it.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It does actually look like a bus seat, but it still has that comfy feel almost. It looks very cozy. I'd love to be on it. And their prices are reasonable on their economy here. What I don't think their prices are reasonable on is their business class. I mean, I don't see them really filling it up that much, but we'll see how this plays out. The next thing I'd like to look at is their premium economy. So this is the moneymaker in most airlines, and I'm looking at it currently. They've got great stitching, but what I did notice across every seat is they didn't have the same stitching, and I think that really adds a luxury feel. Not having the same stitching, it makes everybody feel like they're having their own seat and they're having their own type.
Yeah, they're trying to like give you the illusion that you're like better than economy, but not having that, but not being that much better than economy. But you do get better meals compared to economy, so
Yeah,
you
you
don't
do.
have to like suffer eating if you're on like a very long flight, which I find that very good.
Yeah. I actually was just on recently in February, I was on a flight to Taipei, which is a long haul, and I was in Delta's Premium Select, which is their version of Premium Economy. And I will say the food is a big game changer. The other thing is just the recline and the footrest on the seat is huge, and I was actually able to sleep, and it is very hard for me to sleep on airplanes, but the seat was really comfortable, really helped me sleep there. I'm looking at the seat is a lot like Delta's, but you've got what it really looks like the most is Delta's new first class that they're having on their A321 Neos with the two head dividers. Those look really nice, and I see tons of recline, but I don't know if you've ever been on a premium economy or something like that, but do you think recline is like a big game changer?
Yeah, a recline like it makes me feel like I'm very relaxed and just like in my own environment and not tensed up. Also, what I'm getting from this is that premium economy is basically like the sweet spot, and more comfortable than economy, and you're like not paying business class prices
I
because
100% agree.
they're like charging too much and having different tiers for business. So might as well get premium economy.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at their premium economy price here. Yes, so there's a big price difference between premium economy and business class, which I don't think there needs to be. So their cheapest business premium economy tier is 9,000 SAR, which is 2.3 thousand one way. By the way, this is all one way. Riyadh to London. It's 2,397 per person, which I still think is a lot, but it's about double, a little more than double the price of economy, which I think is reasonable. What about you?
Yeah, I think it's pretty reasonable. It's only like $1,000 more, and you pay for what you get. Like the comfortability, I overall think it's worth it.
Yeah. I'm now looking at their, I don't know if you've seen it, but I'm looking at the setup for the food. And wow, I mean, their food setup looks really nice. I mean, their tray table and all that. And I think presentation is what you've been getting at, Solar. The presentation of all of this stuff is like doing really well. And I see their screens. It looks very modern, looks very nice, looks very luxury, very comfortable. I think they've set it all up very nice. And I think they're going to have some more successful flights for their launch. But what do you think about this, like, presentation of everything, making it look more luxury, even if it isn't that luxury?
The presentation is really what people look for, and it's not like what they're actually getting. It's like how aesthetic it is. That's what I've noticed about a bunch of airlines. They try to make it as like good looking as possible, so that you want to fly their airline and not someone else's.
Yeah, yeah, I do agree with that. Now, if Riyadh Air is all presentation or it is actually what they're hyping it up to be, I don't know. But I mean, I don't think I'll be flying them in the near future, and so I can't say exactly. But I have watched the first review from Nonstop Dan, and it did look really good. The other thing I will say is so Riyadh Air is ran by the Saudi government. They already do have one airline, Saudia. They are a partner of SkyTeam. I don't know where Riyadh Air is currently going, but they are making a second one, and this one seems like it is even more luxury based. I think they're trying to make it a luxury airline. I don't know if you've researched Saudia, the regular airline or their first airline, but what do you think about like making a second airline government controlled but more like more luxury?
I think a second airline would work out really well because we have like JetBlue and United, and both ran out of like the same place, and people both still fly both,
Hmm.
like at a like good number of people still fly both, so it might work for Saudi Arabia too.
Yeah. The one of the other things I want to touch on is if you look at the Saudia planes, they have Saudia, the airline name, at first closest to the front where most regular airline is, and then they have the name in Arabic after it. But if you look at a Riyadh aircraft or Riyadh Air aircraft, the Arabic name is at the top where the regular airline is, and then below the Arabic is Riyadh Air in English. So what I'm wondering is like, do you think they're trying to make it more like Saudian with this?
I don't believe that they even want Americans to fly this. They just want to get it so that they like people from
Hmm.
the eastern side can fly into America. They're like
Hmm.
trying to push it more to like the Saudi Arabia side.
So you think it's like a more luxury airline for Saudis?
Yeah.
That's a good take. I actually haven't thought of that one, but yeah, we'll see how that plays out. It really all depends if that works with their how they expand and what they're gonna do. I mean, they are getting a lot of aircraft, and they actually have 22 routes coming. So I'm gonna get a list here of all of the um, Riyadh Air aircraft that are coming. And of course, Riyadh Air is based in Riyadh, so it's not. It doesn't have multiple hubs all across Saudi Arabia. Okay, so Riyadh Air has 72, which is this is going to be their backbone aircraft. 787-9 Dreamliners. That's a really good aircraft. They didn't go for the 787-10, but the 787-9 is very well known and very respected in the industry. They're getting 68 A321neos, which very very good, and that's about it. So I think what they're gonna try to do is do those 60 A321neos to places like Oman, Yemen, Dubai, Qatar, and Kuwait, like places like that, and other places in Saudi Arabia, and get these 787-9s on like routes that are serving all around. Do you think that's would be a good assumption?
I think that's a very good assumption because I believe that's what all airlines are trying to do is just like push the airline as far as they possibly can
Hmm.
out into the world.
Yeah, I think everyone's trying to get tons of people on their aircraft in all the countries to have a like almost hub in all the countries without even needing a hub. So, these are the up and coming routes. So they are flying to Cairo. They're flying to Bangkok. I'm not gonna even pronounce that one. Islamabad. I don't know if that's correct. Jakarta, Kuala Lumpur, Manila, Mumbai, Lahore. The one I don't see, which I'm actually very surprised, is Singapore. I guess they don't think they can compete with Singapore Airlines, but that's kind of weird because they're based in Riyadh Air or they're based in Riyadh and Saudi Arabia near Dubai, and they've got Emirates and Etihad and all of them. So,
I don't even think they're gonna compete with Emirates or Qatar at all.
but that's what's kind of I find weird is they're putting themselves in the same market as all of them, and I mean it's so difficult to compete with them. And they're not trying to go low cost. They're not trying to go ultra expensive. They're like where like Emirates is. And I mean, they don't have that respect in the industry. It's going to be difficult, I think. Okay, so Riyadh Air has 72, which is this is going to be their backbone aircraft. 787-9 Dreamliners. That's a really good aircraft. They didn't go for the 787-10, but the 787-9 is very well known and very respected in the industry. They're getting 68 A321neos, which very very good, and that's about it. So I think what they're gonna try to do is do those 60 A321neos to places like Oman, Yemen, Dubai, Qatar, and Kuwait, like places like that, and other places in Saudi Arabia, and get these 787-9s on like routes that are serving all around. Do you think that's would be a good assumption?
I think that's a very good assumption because I believe that's what all airlines are trying to do is just like push the airline as far as they possibly can
Hmm.
out into the world.
Yeah, I think everyone's trying to get tons of people on their aircraft in all the countries to have a like almost hub in all the countries without even needing a hub. So, um, these are the up and coming routes. So they are flying to Cairo. They're flying to Bangkok. I'm not gonna even pronounce that one. Islamabad. I don't know if that's correct. Jakarta, Kuala Lumpur, Manila, Mumbai, Lahore. The one I don't see, which I'm actually very surprised, is Singapore. I guess they don't think they can compete with Singapore Airlines, but that's kind of weird because they're based in Riyadh Air or they're based in Riyadh and Saudi Arabia near Dubai, and they've got Emirates and Etihad and all of them. So,
I don't even think they're gonna compete with Emirates or Qatar at all.
but that's what's kind of I find weird is they're putting themselves in the same market as all of them, and I mean it's so difficult to compete with them. And they're not trying to go low cost. They're not trying to go ultra expensive. They're like where like Emirates is, and I mean they don't have that respect in the industry. It's gonna be difficult, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I'm gonna tell everybody their last five or the last six routes they're coming. By the way, they're gonna have 100+ routes. They say by 2030, which is kind of crazy. I mean, they're definitely expanding rapidly. They were founded in 2023. So, everybody, we're gonna wrap it up about here. I'm gonna tell you the last six, and then I think we're done for this episode. So for Europe, they have London, Madrid, Manchester, and Paris. So they've got two airports in the UK that they're going to, which is not crazy in the industry. For the Middle East, they have Amman, Dubai, and Jeddah, all big airports that most up and coming airlines in the area would do. So I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you, everybody, for watching or listening. We do not have it on film yet. You can listen to this podcast currently or hopefully about everywhere. We're going to have a YouTube channel set up pretty soon. It's going to be called Absolute Aviation. I will be posting it on my main channel, not the actual video, but I will be posting updates about it. You're one of the first listeners if you're listening to this now. Thank you. We will see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.